Welcome to another episode of our Mitsubishi 3000 GT project. In episode 1, we got the car started by replacing the fuel pump, fuel filter, and cleaning out the fuel lines and fuel tank. Now it's time to focus on getting the timing belt, pulleys, cam seals, crank seals, and water pump replaced. But to make it easy to get to these parts, we're going to clear out some other parts that are in our way in the engine compartment. We'll either replace, rebuild, or at least clean up these parts anyway, so might as well remove them now. We'll start by supporting the engine under the oil pan, then remove the side motor mount. The mount was easy to get to after the cruise control unit was unbolted. You'll see how every time we wanted to remove something, it became easier to remove something else in the way as well. We start by removing the power steering and alternator belts, followed by the tensioner and guide pulleys. This was followed by removal of the side engine mount bracket, but to remove that, it was easier to remove the alternator. To remove that, it was easier to remove the radiator. So remove the radiator hoses and radiator next. We disconnected and removed the fans and sensors from the old radiator, since we'll transfer them onto the new radiator with new hoses. Since we're converting the car from R12 to 134A, we'll remove and replace the condenser and pull the compressor to drain any R12 mineral-based oil. Before we remove the lines to the compressor, we want to clean the hose connections to prevent any debris from entering the ports. The process to change over to R134A is simply a matter of blowing out the R12 oil out of the lines with AC solvent. Installing R134 conversion quick service connectors over the R12 connectors, and again draining out residual oil out of the compressor. Ester oil, which is compatible with both R134 and R12 systems, will be substituted over the mineral-based and PAG oil. We'll do this in a later video. And while those parts are out of the way, we thought we'd remove the starter motor. Okay, now back to the timing belt side of the engine. Let's remove the AC low and high pressure hoses and the AC accumulator. Now we can get to the two top timing belt covers. Since we'll be replacing the brake master cylinder, removing it made it easier to pull off the timing belt cover that was next to it. You have two hydraulic lines and two nuts to remove and one electrical connection. Now that we have the covers off, we can get to the timing belt and get things set up to remove the belt. I like to line up the crankshaft and camshafts to top dead center positions, then apply paint marks on the belt and sprockets to make the installation as easy as possible. Here's where we're lining everything up. Now we can remove the crankshaft bolt followed by the harmonic balancer. We had some problems removing the balancer because the alignment pin in the crankshaft pulley was stuck. So we used a puller tool to finally get the balancer off. To get the lower cover off, we need to remove this side motor mount bracket. After removing the tensioner, we can easily remove the belt. Loosening the cam sprocket bolts takes a lot of torque. Once they're off, we can remove the oil seals. I have this great tool that makes it so easy to pull the seals straight out. I'm cleaning up these shafts for now, but we are going to do a lot of cleaning, wire brushing, and painting in our next episode. The tensioner and eyelet pulleys came off easily. We're now removing the water pump. The water pump's an interesting design. It has its own removable housing that comes off with the pump. We'll clean it up before it's attached to the new water pump. Well, before we finish removing parts, for now we're going to remove the brake booster and clutch master cylinder. To detach both the brake and clutch pedals, we have to go behind the firewall to remove the cotter pins and bolts. Also, they each have 4 nuts that have to be removed to pull the parts out. Here's the clutch master cylinder that we removed by cutting the hydraulic line. It couldn't be avoided since the flare nut edges had rounded trying to take it off and were rusted in place. When we install the new one, we'll fabricate a new line and attach it with compression fitting. You can see the procedure we did in this video link. In the next episode, we'll be doing a lot of cleaning up and installing the seals, water pump, timing belt, along with other work. So stay tuned, subscribe, hit the notification button, and please hit the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching.